Hello everyone, and welcome back to Reserved Investments on YouTube. I got a question that I want to go over with you guys because I get this question a lot, and I'm going to keep this anonymous. I'm going to even paraphrase so that I don't give away the person's name or where they're from or anything of that nature, okay? I get a lot of questions from my articles in Antiques and Auction News and also those that know that I'm active in the antiques and collectibles trade. Here's the question, and I think a lot of you are going to like the topic of this video. Sean, what advice would you have for someone in the year 2019, meaning today, present day, as this video is being shot in July 2019, who wants to enter the antiques and collectibles trade? Would they have the same or similar success as someone like you or equivalent who entered the trade in either the 80s or 1990s? Okay? So I'm going to take some time and I'm going to answer this, but I want to put one caveat before I answer this. The person didn't define what they mean by entering the antiques and collectibles trade. If you come to me and you tell me I'm a collector and I want to start collecting coins or stamps or Magic the Gathering cards or video games, okay, guess what? You're operating in the antiques and collectibles trade. The minute you transfer money to someone else and you get a product for that money, you made a financial transaction. Whether it's a good or bad financial transaction, that's up to you to decide, okay? The market's going to judge you if you go and sell that item back on the market at some point, but you're still active in the greater antiques and collectibles trade once that happens. Same thing is true if you speculate. You know, the reason why these are here is for a reason. If you go down to Walmart or Target and they're clearing out Lego sets that just came out in the beginning of 2019, this was $40, by the way, and you go and you buy like 10 of these, and you go, hey, I can eventually flip these on Amazon for a profit, I'm going to tell you, yes, in a certain respect, you are operating in the greater antiques and collectibles trade. However, you're more specifically engaged in what is called retail arbitrage, though, okay? I don't put a lot of the modern era mass-produced collectible flippers out there under the banner of the greater antiques and collectibles trade. I was always split on that. I think some belong there, but most of them are engaging in what's called retail arbitrage. They're just taking advantage of one marketplace's loss and benefiting, profiting from it on another, okay? Anybody can do that. You can go to Target and look through their clearance bins, and you can find stuff to flip on Amazon, but if it's not of a collectible nature, you're really not in the antiques and collectibles trade, okay? Another era where people can enter the trade is sophisticated investment, okay? If you come in the trade and you have a significant amount of money already and you really want to study a market like coin collecting, currency collecting, even comic book collecting, whatever your thing is, okay, whether it be Tiffany glass, movie posters, what have you, you can enter the trade at a certain level where if you spend a lot of time analyzing markets, just like financial markets, okay, you can learn that market. You can come in with a set amount of money and you can, hopefully, invest that money into an object or multitude of objects, build a portfolio, and that will hopefully, over time, grow in value for you, okay? That's what we refer to as sophisticated investing, okay? That's people who are coming in buying like an Amazing Fantasy 15. They're looking at rare gold coins, stuff of that nature, okay? The other way you can enter the trade, and this is where I think that this person is referring to, is you can come in as either a part-time or a full-time dealer, okay? Now, to do that in 2019 is a lot harder and easier than what it was to do that in the early to mid-1990s, okay? You have to understand where we are in the trade. The antiques and collectibles trade has become extremely established in today's marketplace. You're looking at a very sophisticated marketplace where most people know the values of the items they have. It used to be you would go to a flea market and you would find Aunt Sally, who lives in Nebraska on a cornfield and doesn't know anything about the antiques and collectibles trade, so she puts out her son's collection of Generation 1 Transformers for $20 to $25 at the Sunday flea market, and somebody comes along and says, here you go, thank you, happy to get them. Today, that same person most likely has an app on her phone, whether it be eBay or whether it be another auction site or some other venue of looking up what those items are worth, okay? Compounding that you also have a lot of people like this person who wrote me that want to enter the trade in 2019. So they're very hungry. They're out there 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on a Friday or Saturday morning at a flea market, okay? And they're the first one there trying to get to the proverbial good stuff, okay? Whatever they define that as. It could be vintage glassware, it could be video games, Lego, toy, you name it, okay? That said, there's also 20 other people trying to do that same thing. And the problem is, thanks to all the people who have apps on their phone or are familiar with eBay, rather than putting out that same lot of Generation 1 Transformer toys that they were going to sell for $25 at the yard sale, someone's going to come along, usually in their household, and say, well, wait a minute, Mom or Aunt Sally, we can look these up on eBay. Maybe they're worth a lot more than $25. Why are we putting them out in the yard sale? And if you don't believe me that happens a lot. That's why there's so much frustration right now among what I call unsophisticated pickers. What I mean by that is, these are people that know the value of simple mass-produced things. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to start somewhere. Okay, I want to put that out there, okay? I will never, ever, if you have a passion for video games, Lego, action figures, comic books, toys, whatever it is, I consider you my equal in the trade, okay? I'm not downplaying anybody who does that. The problem is, though, the reason why it's so easy to get into flipping a lot of items like that is because there's mass-produced. Let's face it, if I put 2 pieces of glass, and really I should do this in one of my videos, I put a piece of Tiffany glass here and another piece of more common glass over here that isn't Tiffany, I guarantee you, on camera, you guys, even if I turn it over, show you all sides, you're not going to be able to spot the difference unless you're educated in that subset of the market. So the people who are making money going to flea markets and that, looking for Tiffany glass or, vintage American antique bottles, stuff of that nature, they have a lot of knowledge and experience, and that takes a lot more knowledge than finding a Wii U system sitting in a flea market for 50 bucks with, 20 games that you can at least get 100, 150 for on eBay. It's a different subset of the market. It's a different mentality, okay? At that point, you're more engaged in retail arbitrage, okay? And again, that's not to insult anybody. It's just that's where most people start out, because that's where I started out, okay? I just have a passion for this stuff, and that's why you see it all around me when I film these videos, okay? Fair enough. So that's one of the setbacks you're going to have, because you're going to go out, you're going to face 20 to 25 other guys doing what you're doing, just as hungry as you, and they all have the knowledge because it's all in an app anymore, or you just go on eBay.com and look at completed listings. And also, you have less people putting it out to those venues, meaning flea markets, yard sales, and antique marts, because they know the value too. And most likely, a lot of them, if they have a lot of stuff that's valuable, like I know somebody that cleared out like a child's room from 1982, and they had all this stuff, and they literally just put it on eBay. They were going to have a yard sale. Once they started looking up the value, it was like crap. It all went to eBay. So that's one less seller out there that's putting this stuff out at a discounted price, okay? Another thing you have to contend with is established flea markets and antique fairs. Most of the sellers at those places in 2019, if they have video games or toys or comic books or Lego sets, it's already priced at top dollar, okay? I know certain flea market vendors that do nothing but deal in vintage video games, okay? And all their prices are based, I hate to say it, off of price charting. So you're really not going to get a good deal by doing business with them unless if either they're desperate to turn inventory or they need cash, and they might give you a 10 to 20% discount, but after you factor in eBay or PayPal fees, they're not doing you any favor to the point where you can make any money, okay? So going into the trade in 2019 requires you to think differently than most of your competition. Because I guarantee you, as sure as I'm sitting here, there's people that watch that are going to come across this video, whether they love me, hate me, want to troll me, whatever. Guarantee you, the only way that they know to enter the trade is to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday and go to a flea market and just hope and pray that somebody's there who's less knowledgeable than them that puts out either a stack of comic books from the 80s or 90s that have some key issues in it, or a Nintendo Entertainment System with some rare games and just doesn't know the value. The problem is, you guys are a dime a dozen, okay? Everybody is doing that now. I very rarely go to flea markets anymore, okay? I go more to curiosity seek, just so that I can observe what other people are doing, and I witness this every time I go, okay? For me to walk up to a table of Nintendo games, I don't even need to pull my phone out and have price charting on. I know the value of the items. If I walk up to somebody who has Tiffany glass, even if he wants top dollar, I'm going to test him to see if everything he has priced accordingly is truly top dollar. He may make a mistake on pricing something. I can take advantage of that. I don't need an app to do that. I don't need to go on eBay. I don't need to research prices on heritage auctions in the fly of the moment. I spend a lot of my time doing that now. So now you're going to ask, well, Sean, how can I get into the trade then? Unfortunately, this is the bad news. If you don't want to be a part of the category that is going after mass-produced antiques and collectibles, what I call like your Lego, your video games, if you don't want to be a part of the herd, you have to start learning the more advanced antiques and collectibles within the trade. It's very hard for the average person who just knows a little bit about eBay, knows video games, for them to go to an antique mart and look at like a dealer who has old bottles, just old glass bottles, for them to be able to pick out one that's valuable, it's slim to none. That's where you can make your money. You can make your money by learning the rare coin market, going on heritage auctions, participating in some of their auctions, and sitting there going, this 1881 Carson City Morgan dollar looks great and great, and it's CAC stickered. How come it only went for $1,000? The eye appeal's great. Did somebody just miss this? That's how you need to learn the trade going forward. You need to have some specialized knowledge along with a passion for those items where you can recognize the deals when they come, okay? I'm going to give you a little secret. Here's something that most people in the trade don't know, and I have colleagues that have 30 to 40 years in the antiques and collectibles trade they don't know. You know some of the best places to get antiques and collectibles, not always, but you can hit gold there, are lesser known, unadvertised auctions. I use a commerce site called Auction Zip. If you've ever heard of it, just Google Auction Zip, and it'll list auctions in your area. You want the ones that aren't advertised online. Now, every auction house that we know of, that we deal with, meaning eBay, Heritage Auctions, Sotheby's, Christie's, Morphy's Auctions, even Philip Weiss, which is out, I think, New York, they all have an online presence. You want to try to hit the smaller auction houses that don't have an online presence, where you can get grandma who doesn't know any better, so she takes her vintage video game collection to the local auction on a Friday night, and they put out no publicity. So maybe there's 50 people in the crowd bidding, well, all you got to do is outbid those 50 schmucks, and I'm telling you, 25 of those guys that you're bidding against, they're drunk, and they don't even have $100 in their pocket. So I guarantee you, if you can't compete at that level, there's something wrong, okay? That's an excellent way to enter the trade. The problem is, and here's where it gets a little complicated, a lot of the people and those auction sites that are operating in that manner are now well aware that the people coming to them, that they're selling at like a country auction and that, the items are selling below market value. So attention is now being paid to those auctions. However, you can still find deals there, okay? But the main takeaway is you have to start learning to specialize in certain categories where the average person isn't going to be your competition. No offense. I said this before. If I'm going out to, I'll use this as an example, an antique fair, okay? Antique fairs attract a higher level of dealer than like a flea market or an antique market or even like a yard sale, okay? Obviously, it's somebody who has the knowledge, a dealer who specializes in something, okay? I can match wits with mostly anybody who's going to walk in to that particular antique market at that time, and I know what I'm doing. That's where you got to get to. So you have to pick a category that's not only growing in popularity and possibly value, you also have to learn that category very well, okay? I can give you some examples, but you have to have the passion. If you don't have the passion for those items, please don't buy them, okay? I know people that have gotten into Tiffany glass, antique bottles, pottery, even depression glass, but they really didn't have a passion for it. So if you don't have a passion for that stuff, you're not going to do well trying to learn it. For instance, I can pull, here, I'll show you guys. This is a book on American art glass, okay? I'm going to come over and I'm just going to open up a page and just show you, okay? Some of these pictures are black and white. I'm sorry for the glare. You see this? If you don't have a passion for any of this crap, please don't get into it. Don't become a dealer. Don't collect it. Don't speculate on it. All you're going to do is hurt yourself and your bank account. And somebody's going to come in and they're going to go, hey, you accumulated all this stuff, know nothing about it. I'll give you X number of dollars for it. And you're going to sell it to them, okay? And what's going to happen is they're going to take it and they're going to part it out and sell it for a profit, okay? That's all that's going to happen. Passion is the catalyst that creates a better collector, okay? To be a sophisticated investor, you have to have passion. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and one of the things that I hate, most investors in the antiques and collectibles trade, they just need to know their numbers. They don't have to have passion. Yes, you do. Passion is what ignites the fire for you to do that. These are not financial instruments. For instance, I particularly don't like Dow Chemical as a company. I own stock in Dow Chemical. Am I telling you to buy stock in Dow Chemical? No, I'm not. I'm using that as an example to invest in that company and get a dividend every 3 months. I don't need to like the company and what they do. Okay, as a matter of fact, you can search online. They've been involved in a lot of shady lawsuits and stuff in the past, okay? So whether or not, I'm not going to go into it in this video, whether or not you agree with what they do, to invest in their business, you don't have to have a passion for it, okay? To invest in stuff like coins, currency, Tiffany glass, Rookwood pottery, you better have a passion, okay? There better be something that ignites a fire under your ass so that you want to go out and go, holy shit, there's a collector's encyclopedia of American art glass? Wow, that's awesome, okay? Because I'm going to be honest, I like Tiffany glass. I like some of the more uncommon pottery like Rookwood, Wedgwood, stuff like that. I don't live and breathe it, though, if you know what I mean, okay? Therefore, I can compete with the best of the best out there on that market, I think. But at the same token, I also sometimes don't want to, if that makes sense. You want to be a person who has the passion and the knowledge, okay? So that's why I do videos on coins and currency. You may develop a love or a passion for something that you never thought possible, okay? And if you analyze the market properly, you can go, okay, the market either has lulls and valleys and peaks, or it seems to be going up, which should cause concern because no market can go up indefinitely. Remember that, okay? Comic book collectors, video game collectors, no market can go up indefinitely, okay? I'm not going to repeat that. That said, you should be very cautious. But that's how you would get in the trade in 2019. You have to learn a passion. Otherwise, you're just like all the rest. You're like all these guys on any given Sunday that just go out and think they're going to stumble upon, grandma's Nintendo Entertainment System, and they're going to find a stadium events, a Nintendo World Championship cartridge, and also a factory-sealed Castlevania as well to boot, okay? Yes, that does happen. It's very rare, though, in today's day and age. Most people know the value. Just like those of you that are in the Magic the Gathering market, I can tell you, 2005 to 2006, I came across awesome collections with cards from Arabian Nights, Beta, Alpha. Today, not seeing any at all. That says something, okay? So if you have a comment on this, or if you like the video, please like it. Post a comment. I might respond if it's an intelligent comment that I think that I can ricochet off of. I'll gladly give you my thoughts. There will be a follow-up to this video because we do have to look back in the 90s, take the DeLorean back, and see how we got this far. And I think that that's very important to look back at the trade prior to the advent of e-commerce and how people like me and other collectors, speculators, investors, and dealers were able to profit from that boom because we saw what was coming, okay? So another video I'm going to do, just want to put this out here, guys, while this video is approaching 20 minutes. I am going to be doing a video on antiques and collectibles as an asset class. For those of you that know my work through Antiques and Auction News, That was probably, I did a 4-segment part on that topic for Antiques and Auction News back in, I want to say 2013 or 2014, and it became one of my most controversial articles. So I want to revisit it in video form because it's interesting going back 6 years and looking how certain things in the trade manifested itself in today's era. So I think that'll be a very productive video that's going to be hitting probably within the month. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because it kind of ties into this topic. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you did learn something from this. And again, I want to reiterate, whatever you collect, wherever you are in the trade, I like you, I respect you, and I hope that you're getting something out of this that maybe you're not getting on another channel that is all pro speculation or, oh my God, prices are rising, prices are rising, prices are rising. Because when you get into the thick of being able to analyze certain markets in the antiques and collectibles trade, you're going to learn that usually the markets that you sometimes want to avoid are the ones that are consistently going up like this. You want proven growth over time. You don't want parabolic growth, okay? That's true in investing, that's true in speculating, and that's true specifically in the antiques and collectibles trade as well. Thank you, and good night.